I just want to set the record straight. Since I see a lot of assumptions flying around, being posted, I opened a joint bank account and have evidence of that for Jasmine only 1 month after she arrived to Michigan and made my individual account a joint account as well. So Jasmine could certainly buy tampons or anything else whenever needed. Don't you love it when something happens on an episode of 90 Day Fiancé? And when that something happens, we are obviously entitled to our own reactions. And our reactions can create assumptions, okay? Or at least, let's say, opinions. And isn't it wild that once we are able to create our own opinions based on what we have seen, some cast members find it that they have to come on social media to make things abundantly clear. I mean, listen, as far as I'm concerned, we saw Jasmine legit call you out on the show by saying that she thinks you're trying to use her financially. That you're trying to control her because you have the money. That you're trying to dictate what she can and cannot do. And that's why she had the whole meltdown and pretty much, screamed a whole lot of gobbledygook, as she always normally would anyway. So really and truly, the question that I have, instead of him coming out here and talking about how there are a lot of false assumptions, and remember, these assumptions that are out here, yes, they are potentially false, but these assumptions aren't assumptions that were just made out of thin air. These assumptions that were created based on what we were shown by TLC, a show, a network that you have worked for multiple seasons. So you know that when it comes to editing by the production team, they're gonna flip it however they see fit. But one thing that we can never change are the words that were said by you, by Jasmine, and any cast member. And she blatantly sat there and said that I think Gino is trying to control me. So the question that I have is, instead of addressing the part when she complains about how, she may need permission to buy so-and-so, blah, 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 why don't you address the fact that she called you out and said that you are trying to control her? Because if you ask me personally, the accusation that Jasmine threw at you is far worse than any of her assumptions. Now, I haven't seen all of these assumptions, but to be honest with you, assumptions from random people that you don't know surely should not affect you more than an accusation from someone that you're actually married to, someone that you share a bed with, somebody that you have basically paid the way physically your money for such a long period of time. You see what I'm saying? So if Gino is not upset, if he's not offended, if he's unbothered about the accusation that Jasmine decided to throw out and scream, then why the hell do you give a damn about people's assumptions, people that you don't know, assumptions that were created based on what Jasmine said? Okay? And that's another thing, we gotta look at it. These assumptions that were created, they were created based on what Jasmine said, not based on what you said. So it goes back to my point. The root of the problem is what Jasmine said, and the real problem should be what she accused you of. But instead of confronting the person that has been the root of these assumptions, as well as the root of the accusation, you decide to come to the public, you decide to come to the viewers, you decide to come to the net and say, hey, I want to set the record straight. Listen, you can set whatever record straight you want by us at any means necessary, but it doesn't mean that we're inclined to want to believe it, because at the end of the day, our assumptions are based on what we saw, and most importantly, it does feel rather interesting how you would come and target the audience rather than target the person himself, or rather than confront the person that's at the root of the issues. Nonetheless though, please do let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section, and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.